Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Orchid is a fun little solo experience, little small card deck, not very expensive, and you're placing cards on top of each other bushes to cover them up to increase the dice on them. And it becomes like this little puzzle to score the most points, and it works fairly well. You know, if you're going on a business trip or you need something, maybe play a solo game while you're watching the news or something's a ball game's on TV and you don't want to concentrate too much on it, you play this little solo game. And I think it's very fun. I've actually played a 2-player and we just helped each other maximize our score. It's still the one game. It comes with 2 decks, so you can flip things up a little bit to try to change things up. It's a really fun little solo experience. This isn't one to get too in-depth on because there's not a whole lot to it. In addition, I don't feel like that there is, you know, not a very costly game. Doesn't really, you know, it's something you'd buy almost, you know, do you want fries with that or maybe get free shipping? Yeah, I think it works in that regard. I feel like Orchid is a really fun little solo experience. I find myself just keeping on my desk. I want to burn 10 or 15 minutes. I throw down some cards and I play it. And I like that aspect of it. You need games like this in your collection if you want to have a well-rounded collection, and I do. And I do like solo experience games. I like games that maybe I don't need to have 100% on it. You know, maybe I'm doing something else too. Totally fits that. Now, if you want to play this hardcore and get down and try to maximize your score, you're going to have to be a little bit thinking. Okay, I'm going to do this and undo that. And it works in that respect too. Very fun little solo experience game. I don't want to oversell it, but for the price point, I got a lot of bang for my buck. I'll be honest with you. Keeper. Here's Orchid 9-card solitary game. You're going to see it's going to come in a little tuck box. It's really nice. You just kind of pull this out at the bottom. And then you have your deck of your cards, and you have your dice inside. I like this design quite a bit. You're going to get a number of dice. These are going to be custom dice with little leaves on them and such. You're going to get a little animal here. This is, I believe it's an apple with a worm coming out of it. You're going to get a few dice, and you're going to get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a minute. And you're going to get a bunch of cards. These are a little thin and not the best, but they have different colors and bushes on them, etc., and numbers, so you can tell them apart. The components are fine, nothing to write home about, but it's a little solitary game and it's very inexpensive. Here's the rule book. It's going to be small to fit in there. The font's going to be a little hard. You have components without pictures set up right here without a picture. Really not a lot of pictures in here. Goes over the play of the turn. Pretty easy. The rotten fruit game end. And then nice colored pictures here with the example of the turns. How to score at the end. And if you want to keep track of your scores at the back. And if you wanted to get 2 decks of this, you could play multiplayer, but I don't think that you really want to, but maybe, who knows. Take the dice and the rotten fruit, you put them together, you're going to shuffle up the cards. You're going to deal out 9 of them, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because you're only ever going to use 9 in a game. So the other 9 are set aside, and it creates some random invariance in the game. Take the top card of the deck, and you will immediately place it down. And this is what you're kind of be building off of. You ever play something like Carcassonne or something, you'll be building off this card as you go. Then you draw 2 cards into your hand, and this will be your starting hand that you're going to have in the game. And what you're going to do is very simple. You're going to take one of these 2 cards, and you're going to play them down if possible. If for any reason you cannot play a card legally, then the game will end and you'll score up, or if you have no more cards to play. So what you're going to be trying to do is play this down to cover up some of these locations. So if I'm going to play this card, I can cover up the purple on the purple and yellow on the yellow, and I would play that down like that. When I do, I grab one of these dice, and the purple I covered up gets a 1, and the yellow that I covered up gets a 1 also. That's how you would do that. Then, if there's any cards left in the deck, I would draw an additional card. So, let's say the next card I want to play down is yellow, red, purple, which would cover this side of it up. So I'll take this off for just a second. I'm going to cover up the yellow, the red, and the purple. So then I would take this die, and I would turn it to the 3 side. I would take a red die, and these are just so you can track your scores, and I covered up that purple for the first time, and I would place that there. Now this will continue on until either you can't place a card or you played all the cards. So the dice are going to go from 1 to 3 to 6 to 7, or 10 on it rather, and 10 would be the highest if you're able to get it up that high. At the end of the game, you're going to score as many points as you can, and they have a little cheat sheet in the back on here. Depending on how many points you have is how many points you would score and what you would get. So 55 plus is the highest you can get. If the game had ended here, which it wouldn't have, I get 3, 4, I would have 6 points. You just count the number of pips on the die. That's how you play Orchid, the 9-card solitary game. Who should buy this game? Solo gamers only, right? Only plays 1.
You want to puzzle things. You don't mind getting the best score and kind of upping your score on it. It's a little bit of a thinky game. There's not a lot of graphics in it. Not a lot of graphic arts and artwork, and it's just bushes, I guess, and dice. But if you're looking for that little solo experience, you like to play solitaire on the computer, looking for something maybe more tactile with that, this would work. But solo gamers only. It's a solo-only game. And one I gotta admit I enjoyed. Keeper.